Head on. Thanks, Chris. This is just part of the sellout crowd filing into Cougar Stadium to witness tonight's key Western Athletic Conference contest between BYU and San Diego State. A matchup that over the years has yielded some classic confrontations. They say the eyes are the windows to the soul, and after an 0-3 start, resilient San Diego State put their focus on two talented backs. With 4 straight conquests, they fulfilled the Aztec legend of the Phoenix Rising. But BYU has its own man on a mission, record-setting running back Ronnie Jenkins, whose moves have left opponents guessing. But the fire and brimstone comes from the punishing crusade of this Cougar linebacker. It is an explosive rivalry. In 1991, this late touchdown clinched the WAC championship for BYU. A year later, Marshall Faulk sends the Provo turf for nearly 300 yards. And in 1993, with just seconds to play, BYU's defense denied this Aztec 2-point conversion to preserve the win. Tonight, one team will claim the inside track to the WAC. It is called the WAC, which stands for Western Athletic Conference, but the abbreviation would better characterize these fans in this league if it stood for Wild and Crazy. Hello, everyone. I'm Jerry Punch along with Todd Blackledge. Glad to have you with us. You know, Todd, in this league, when it comes to offense, anything goes. You know, we've grown to anticipate lots of yards and lots of points, but tonight they may come in a little bit different fashion.
Well, Jerry, when I think of San Diego State, I think of wide receivers in the vertical passing game, but this is an offense that's actually gaining 73 more yards per game on the ground than through the air. They're doing it with a potent 1-2 punch at running back. Sophomore Larry Ned is the explosive, violent runner. Jonas Lewis, the junior, more the elusive, darting guy. Both guys average over 5 yards a carry. Expect both to get right around 20 carries tonight.
A year ago, BYU stumbled to its worst conference finish, and Lavelle averaged 26 years here, which may explain why the personality of this year's offense has changed quite a bit.
BYU's still going to throw the football, make no mistake, but the feature player in this offense is not the quarterback, it's running back Ronnie Jenkins. Norm Chow, the offensive coordinator, told us they have never had a player like Ronnie Jenkins here at BYU. He's got 4.2 speed, explosive breakaway ability, can make people miss. 250 yards rushing and 4 touchdowns last week in the win over San Jose State. He's also the team's #2 receiver. Watch BYU try to get the ball in the hands of their best player as many times as they can tonight.
All right, here come the Cougars of BYU, 5-3 overall, but a perfect 4-0 here at Cougar Stadium in 1998. When we come back, Holly Rowe will have the final word from the sidelines as we're set to kick it off in Provo. How about 65-year-old Lavelle Edwards, the 3rd winningest active coach in college football, the 27th year at the helm of the Cougar program. While they were concerned, shut out in regulation play. Once again, the handoff to Ned. Nice size hole, left side. And he will get a couple. Now, San Diego State has really turned it around this year in the 3rd down conversion category. Early in the year, they were horrible. Look at the first 3 games, 6 for 43. In the last 4 games, all 4 wins. Boy, they're almost 44%.
Part of that has to do with who they played in those first 3 games, too. Wisconsin, USC, Arizona, 3 very good defensive football teams, but they have made improvement, and most of that improvement is a result of the quarterback gaining some maturity.
All right, Brian Russell has 3 wide receivers, top of your screen. 3rd and 6 on the opening drive for the Aztecs. And he has it picked off by Brian Gray, who has a clear sailing. Makes one tackler miss, and BYU is on the board. Gray, the junior from Hawthorne, California, the left cornerback. Junior college All-American. Puts the Cougars on the board early, and now Ted Tollner talking to his young quarterback about being patient.
Well, you got to believe BYU is going to pay special attention to Damon Gourdine. Brian Gray right on top of that one, reading the quarterback the whole way, and made the play.
All right, 13:31 remaining in the first quarter. BYU strikes first.
ESPN's presentation of Thursday Night Football is brought to you.
Well, for the sixth time in 8 games, the opponents score first against San Diego State, courtesy of a 39-yard interception return by Brian Gray, the left cornerback. There's a look at Brian. He puts the Cougars up 7-zip. Just a minute and a half into this one here in Provo, Utah.
Jerry, turnovers have really worked against BYU through the first part of the season, coming in a -9 in turnover margin, but a huge turnover here early.
All right. Hodgman kicks it deep in the end zone to Gordine. He will
Defender, but he's staying with them more like a man-to-man. Inside of his own defense, he stayed right with Gordine, kept his eyes on the quarterback, and made the interception. A nice heads-up play by Brian Gray, staying with Gordine.
Ryan Russell had not thrown an interception in the last 3 outings. His first one in 4 football games. A 3 tight end set now for San Diego State. Had some success running the ball early. Now Russell back to pass, and he will get tattooed at about the 13-yard line.
Jerry, he's hurt too. He took a direct hit.
Derek Stevenson, the strong side linebacker, corralled him.
And Ted Toner's got a decision to make right now. If Russell is seriously hurt, he's up and going to walk off. But Dusty Harris is listed as the backup quarterback right now. Spencer Brinton, who was the starting quarterback, is here, and he warmed up tonight. Take a look. Russell has had a lot of success scrambling early this year, but BYU does a great job of collapsing the pocket, and then Derek Stevenson with the big hit. And Dusty Harris is in the ballgame. They're trying to save Spencer Brinton with a medical red shirt. They didn't want to have to play him. A lot will depend on how Russell is the rest of this quarter.
And Jonas Lewis, the running back, the lone running back. He will get the ball up over the 15. Good lead block upfield.
Guessed run, they guessed right, and they made the big stop.
Opening offensive play. 8 and 9 will bring up 2nd and a yard for BYU on their first offensive possession of the night. Pass complete to Margin Hooks.
When he turned, you see the head get jolted back. I wonder if he remembers the interception. That's one thing he probably wishes he could forget.
Kevin Federick back to pass, looks upfield, has a receiver wide open down about the 32-yard line. And once again, Margin Hooks, the sophomore from Waco, Texas.
Jerry, they actually got away with a little miscommunication in the backfield. That was supposed to be play action, and it looked like Ronnie Jenkins went the wrong way. Kevin Federick, the most dominant high school lineman he's ever seen.
3rd and 11 for BYU. Once again, Federick looks downfield, has a receiver, pumps once. Gets some pressure, runs toward the sideline, and will be way short of the first down.
Federick keeps the ball.
Driven out of bounds at about the 28-yard.
Ohio State defense, they can run. They have some guys that can move sideline to sideline, and that was a good stop for them here on an important series.
Well, Owen Potchman will attempt what will be a 45-yard field goal. Longest of his career, 47 yards against SMU a year ago. And he puts it right through the uprights. So on the opening offensive possession, BYU adds 3 more. With 8 minutes and 2 seconds to go in the first quarter, it is 10-zip Cougars. Todd Blackledge, now San Diego State, needs to get on track offensively.
Well, they need to get back to their running game and make a couple first downs running the football. Take a little pressure off Dusty.
Watching every game on the board from his cozy chair in the ABC studio. Now, you don't have to be an ex-quarterback to get the game plan. Just call your local cable company or DirecTV to get all the weekend's great college action.
It is a pretty good seat. I do like sitting there.
You and John Saunders sitting up there watching all the games that are happening around the country. Some of the teammates consoling Brian Russell, who was really a very popular part of this Aztec offense. All right, to give to Larry Ned.
will sit out just a couple of series and let him shake off the dust web, or the cobwebs, I should say. But Dusty Harris is doing a decent job out there. I should note that he has been tutored by one of our colleagues, Sean Salisbury, at a quarterback camp.
Indeed, he spent some time with Sean Salisbury, getting his skills honed. I'm not sure what kind of skills, but
Sean was a good player. He's a good quarterback.
Outstanding. The Johnster. San Diego State 0 for tonight, 0 for 2 in third down conversions.
Got to be careful of the play clock right now.
They just do get it off. They try to shuffle pass, and they will not get back to the line of scrimmage. They barely got the shovel pass off. 10-zip here early in the first quarter. Quick pass to the outside. That's receiver. That is Ben Horton. And Horton still finding his way. And the crowd responds. 2 or 3 Aztecs trying to take him down. And finally, Rico Curtis gets him on the ground.
This year, Jerry, he struggled early. And they're about midway through. They started alternating him with Drew Miller, another quarterback. And then Miller got hurt. And at that point, Federick started to turn it on. He started to play pretty well. In the last 3 games now, he's played exceptionally well. He's kind of silenced the critics here. This is not an easy position to play, quarterback at Brigham Young. The expectations are very, very high. And Kevin Federick weathered the storm about the mid-season point and has played very well here of late.
That'll be very intimidating to come to BYU. And look at all the trophies. The Heisman, the Davey O'Brien Award, Mahe once again, and he will have no running room left side. Talking about the development of Kevin Federick, you got to give a lot of credit to the quarterback coach at BYU, Robbie Bosco. He's the young man that won the national championship here in '84, and he seems to relate so well with these youngsters coming out of high school.
Well, I think the thing that he really does, Jerry, is he humanizes the position for these guys. I mean, you come in here and you think of the names, McMahon and Young and Gifford Nielsen and all those guys, and pretty soon you think they never made any mistakes. None of those guys ever threw interceptions. And Robbie Bosco, I think, is able to say, hey, look, everybody's had their struggles here. Everybody's thrown interceptions and gotten booed here. Very helpful.
Once again, Federick's pass outside for Ben Horton, the sophomore out of Lake Elsinore, California.
Pass complete.
Very safe passing game here early on for Kevin Federick.
One of the things that they do is a lot of quick passing. Take a look now, Horton. It's just a little 5-yard out, but the timing is perfect, and all the BYU receivers catch the ball so well with their hands. I mean, that when I stood on the practice field on Tuesday, that was the thing that stood out to me. They all catch the ball well with their hands. The only real speed guy is Margin Hooks, but all the receivers can really catch the football.
And the San Diego State defensive coaches talked about how precise the routes were run by the BYU receivers. Jenkins, a hole right up the middle, puts him down inside the 30-yard line.
Plans on Thursday night here on ESPN. The BYU defense is the best in the WAC, if you believe being first in rushing yards and total yards allowed is a good thing. But they did give up a season-high of 43 points to San Jose State last week. Luckily, the Cougars scored 46, so the D got away with a bad day. Off to Provo for redemption. BYU honored Jim McMahon for his election to the College Football Hall of Fame earlier this year. First quarter scoreless, San Diego State's first possession. Brian Russell is picked off by another Brian, Mr. Gray. He returns it all the way for the touchdown, 39 yards in all. It was just the 4th play of the game, and it's 7-0 Cougars. San Diego State's second possession, 1st and 10. Russell drops back to pass. He scrambles, and he is hit hard by Derek Stevenson. Russell is down and hurt. Take another look at this one. Russell gets absolutely leveled. He would leave the game, but he's a gamer. Came on back. Second quarter, 10-0 Cougars, 3rd and 8 for the Aztecs. They try the draw play. Larry Ned is stopped by Rob Morris, and Morris is pumped. He was in on 17 tackles in the game. 15 seconds left in the second, 13-0 Cougars, and the Aztecs are looking for points. My goodness. Russell drops back, scrambles. He's eventually hit. The ball pops out. San Diego State recovers the ball. The time's runs out in half. Third quarter, still 13-0 Cougars. 3rd and 2 for the Aztecs. The pitch to Jonas Lewis was for nothing. Aztecs 1 for 8 on 3rd down to that point. Russell throws incomplete to Jesus Reyes. Another missed 3rd down for the Aztecs. Aztecs punting, and Don Copeland would rather be playing Scrabble right there. Another Aztecs mistake. 4th quarter now, same score, 4th and goal for the Aztecs. Brian Gray all day. Gray enjoying the moment, by the way. Still 13-0. Another 4th and goal for San Diego State late in the 4th. Russell's pass is knocked away again by Brigham Young. It's almost intercepted. A long night for Mr. Russell and the Aztecs as Brigham Young goes on to win. So the BYU defense returns with serious power, throwing the shutout against San Diego State in the rain. Junior linebacker Rob Morris led the way with 10 unassisted tackles, including 3 for losses, plus he assisted on 7 more. The Aztecs were shut out for the first time in 146 games, and they were held to 122 yards, the fewest in school history. Still